World-renowned inventor Nikola Tesla, in April 1899, along with engineer Leonard Curtis, decided to set up a research station near the resort of Colorado Springs. Although they were promised a constant supply of energy, the most significant aspect for Tesla was the opportunity to study the frequent thunderstorms and powerful lightning storms that often rage in Colorado Springs. To start, the proposal to create the research station belonged to Curtis. After agreeing to it, Tesla, along with several employees, arrived in Colorado Springs. He was eager to experimentally study the possibility of wireless transmission of information and energy over long distances, which required powerful lightning discharges. Upon arriving, active work on the station began, and all necessary laboratory equipment was brought in. It wasn't long before Tesla had already gathered substantial information about lightning. Despite his admiration for the storms and his excitement about the experiments, he was not too discouraged by the initial failure of an experiment conducted with a lightning receiver. Although the strongest lightning almost destroyed the station due to insufficient grounding, Tesla saw this as a sudden interference by nature in the laboratory's construction. At that moment, Tesla was able to verify his own assumptions about atmospheric electricity accumulation. Additionally, he observed an unusual phenomenon. His instruments showed more powerful fluctuations in the Earth's potential from distant lightning discharges compared to those closer by. This oddity greatly intrigued him, and he spent a considerable amount of time trying to understand it. A thought occurred to Tesla that he had previously dismissed. The possibility of using the Earth to transmit electricity over long distances seemed more realistic. To succeed, he needed to create standing waves in the Earth by altering its potential. This might have been the phenomenon observed in the Colorado Springs laboratory. The research station had been connected to the El Paso power line, and Tesla was preparing for an extremely important and equally dangerous experiment. Tesla had an assistant named Fritz Lowenstein, who described the experience as follows. I was standing near the switchboard, and Nikola opened the front door of the station to simultaneously observe what was going on inside the room and outside, specifically the masked ball arrestor. The effect was powerful. Huge amounts of lightning in the form of spark discharges occurred in the secondary coil windings and at the top of the mast. The phenomenon was repeated as I switched the switch on and off as instructed by the scientist. Lowenstein's notes also recorded that when Tesla asked him to keep the switch on, a few seconds later there was an eerie silence. Tesla initially thought the assistant had turned off the switch again, but it turned out that the research station had been cut off from the promised electricity. Tesla, frustrated, immediately called the station to express his displeasure, but was shocked by what he heard. It turned out that the generator had burned out due to the experiment, and the angry voice on the phone said, "Tesla, you will never get electricity from us again." No one expected such an outcome. Although Tesla had carefully planned the experiment and calculated his equipment, the power plant's generator was not prepared for such an overload. Consequently, its winding burned out. The resort station management refused to connect the line to another generator and warned Tesla about the need to repair the burnt-out equipment. The repair would take at least 30 days, but Tesla, using his natural charm, persuaded the administration to entrust him with managing the repair process. Remarkably, he managed to get the generator running again after 7 days, and 3 days later, he was allowed to resume his experiment. This led to the confirmation that inducing electric resonance in the Earth and obtaining standing waves was possible in principle. Tesla believed that electrical oscillations of the ether, with increasing intensity, joined at a point roughly near the French islands of Amsterdam and St. Paul, between 70 and 80 degrees east longitude. When the secondary waves traveled back to Colorado Springs, they were amplified by a resonance system and re-radiated. It is worth mentioning one important detail that did not make it into the official reports, but is known from Tesla's personal diaries. According to Fritz Lowenstein's notes, which were excluded from the experiment's description after it became clear that electricity had been cut off and all research instruments stopped, the resonator ball on the mast of the transmitter glowed blue. like a fantastic liquid flowing in waves with a hiss, before disappearing onto the grounded surface of the station's roof. At that moment, Lowenstein extended an additional section of the telescopic tower, the waves reversed direction, flowing back into the glowing ball. Then there was a rolling explosion of thunder that made everyone's ears pop. The ball at the end of the mast burst, shattering into thousands of small pieces. From the smoke halo of the explosion emerged a strange and incomprehensible image of an alien landscape, as described by Tesla and his assistant. If this account is to be believed, Tesla made Lowenstein promise not to disclose the secret prematurely. They kept the discovery of the etheric electric mirage a secret for some time. Following the event, Tesla began developing a theory that when the air capacitance of the resonator changed, somewhere hundreds of miles away on the ocean shore, there was a superposition of two waves. Tesla surmised that this caused the distant image to be transported in some miraculous way. However, Lowenstein did not agree. He noted peculiar features in the colours of the sea and rocks and saw two moons above the smooth, oily waves, one of which was 10 times larger than usual. These were the real words of the scientist and his assistant, recorded in their personal diaries. Initially, Tesla thought the phenomenon was a mirage distortion of the real landscape of the West Coast. At this time, Tesla discovered knowledge about phenomena that had previously been unknown and uninvestigated. The depth and breadth of his subsequent research are astonishing, even considering his insights and genius intuition. It is surprising how he could calculate and select parameters for his installations through mental designing. The effects of these installations were truly remarkable. Many researchers struggled to logically explain Tesla's talents, believing he found solutions by entering a twilight borderline state of consciousness, drawing information from a uniform information field of our planet. Such assumptions often stem from Tesla's interest in the subtle world of electric ether. He believed that radio waves from his devices diverged and that he received signals from alien intelligence, according to his notes. Tesla aimed to establish contact with other civilizations through electrical vibrations of the ether. Despite being a man of business, he kept everything in strict secrecy and was cautious about mentioning details. His assistants and staff who witnessed the unusual experiments were sworn to secrecy about what happened at the Colorado Springs station. The only surviving information suggests that Tesla may have received artificial radio signals of unknown origin, potentially from the Red Planet. Unfortunately, restoring the full picture of what occurred in Colorado Springs is unlikely, as Tesla did not document much, relying on his phenomenal memory, and some materials were lost after his death. Share your thoughts, leave a like and subscribe for more revelations. See you next time.